The issue has become between intelligence, humane intelligence, knowledge of the 21st century, scientific research, medical research, your evolved social understanding, what works, what hasn't, and the dark ages of Republicans. That's why they're stuck with Nazis, racist groups, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, all those racist groups, and Christian fascism, clinging to dark age hell and damnation and fear, and to play up to ignorant people, bound in with small minds. Fear of the what, fear of the religion of fear. And it's paid for by the big corporations that are about the fascism and corporate dictatorship. That's the Republican Party here in America. The clear distinction you're seeing of dividing out right now is like the edge of like civil war, is the repressive dark age ignorance of the Republican Party and fascism and dictatorship and denial of rights for women and gays and sustaining of bigotry and racism, right? All these white people and whatnot in there. And the intelligence, humane, on the other side, over here, you got the humane intelligence of the 21st century. Equal rights. The dramatic economic opportunity for advancement to combat climate change and throw out all the dictatorship, corporate dictatorship of those old poison and pollution corporations, and put in an economics to benefit you. You. And that you naturally then spreads out to be equal rights. It's a huge divide that is really clarifying. How ignorant and stupid is the American public? Just look for who votes Republican and votes for Trump. That tells you. Who's intelligent, humane intelligence, awareness of our equal rights, what that means, how that implemented through society, what our medical and scientific research has found of climate change and COVID and all the related aspects of our DNA and all the things we've been doing. Intelligent research, humane research. You've really got two different clear distinctions of how the country, and essentially the world too, really, has to progress or not. If it falls into the stupidity of dictatorship and psycho right-wing Christian fascism and racism and bigotry, well, you know from history what that means. The idiocy and violence and corruption of the Hitlers, the Mussolinis, the Pol Pots, the Stalins, the Putins, the Trumps, the Bush Cheneys, the Lindsey Grahams, the Mitch McConnells, the Boberts, the Marjorie Greens, the Buck-Chuck Fastly, what is his name? Buck-Chuck Crassley in Iowa, the phony Joni Ernst, the Sphinx of deception and racism, all of the Republican Party. And you have the other side that says the purpose of life is clearly set in this Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Equal rights. And what that implies throughout society. And that means economics as well. To benefit you. Not corporations. Not Republican corporations, Republican business, but to benefit you first. Business then is secondary to you. You're first. It has to benefit you. And there's plenty of business to be made that benefits you. How it's done. That fits the sanity of the 21st century and our knowledge and wisdom, and benefits the planet as well. It's a radical difference that's very clarifying here, pulling apart very clearly, because the right-wing Republican wackos keep going more and more obvious of their fascism and bigotry and vile efforts to deny rights. Look at the Supreme Court here just recently in America. They came up with this lunacy to try and justify throwing out Roe v. Wade, the women's right to abortion, and they couldn't say what it really was. Where did it really come from? It came from religion. Christian wacko religion forced that throwing out of Roe v. Wade. But the Supreme Court, these right-wing nuts, all Republicans, couldn't say that. Couldn't say, well, by religion, because there's constitutionally the separation of church and state. So instead they had to fabricate something ridiculous, fantastic, impossible. And that was originalism. If it isn't written in the original Constitution, then we're not going to do it. Well, wait a minute. That means the original Constitution, then that means no guns anyway. Second Amendment isn't valid. It means women don't have the right to vote. That came later. It wasn't in the Constitution. So no women in the Congress and the Senate and throughout the state governments. Throw them out. Women can't be there by that originalism. And slavery was intact. So you got to put Judge Clarence Thomas in chains of slavery. I guess so. By the originalism. It shows you how desperate they are, Republicans, when what they really are is fascism, racism, ignorance, Christian fascist ignorance. Look at yourself. See for yourself. Look how they vote. Look how these Republicans vote. Who blocks raising the minimum wage? Republicans. Republicans blocked legislation that would have gotten women to be paid the same as men in a job. But Republicans don't like women. They blocked that. So your sister, your wife, they can't get paid the same. Republicans did that. On and on and on down the road. Look how they vote. And by doing it, you come to clear distinction, clearly seen by this criminality and fraud of Trump Republicans and Fox News propaganda lie machines, of this overt attempt to keep you ignorant, keep you small, keep you chained to corporate dictatorship of poison and pollution economics, and make you suffer. It's very clear.